ecologiQ's vision is to become a world leader in the sustainable use of recycled and reused materials in infrastructure projects by 2025. Over the past 3 years, the program has made some serious strides towards achieving this goal. With the support of ecologiQ, the use of waste resources has almost doubled since the implementation of the Recycled First policy. More than 2.5 million tonnes of recycled content have been incorporated into Victoria's Big Build so far. This is part of over 3.4 million tonnes of greener materials committed to be used on projects. Our modelling shows the demand for recycled materials will continue, with the potential to deliver over 10 million tonnes of recycled and reused content on big build projects between 2023 and 2027. We're seeing more innovative recycled products than ever being used in transport projects, including recycled plastic pipes, recycled plastic sleepers, and crumb rubber as a binder in asphalt. We're making great strides in our partnerships with social enterprises and have strengthened industry connections through events and showcases. While we have made great progress to integrate greener materials into infrastructure, there is still more to be done. We're excited to continue the conversation at this year's Greener Infrastructure Conference and see how collaboration can take it to the next level.
Well, good morning, everyone, and welcome to this conference. Isn't that inspiring? Wow. As somebody who loves waste recycling and remanufacturing, every time I see this inspiration coming out of ecologiQ, it's really something that gives me hope. I want to begin by acknowledging the traditional owners of this land, the Wurundjeri people of the Kulin Nation, and pay my respects to elders past, present, and emerging. We acknowledge and uphold their continuing relationship to this land. Welcome to the second ecologiQ Greener Infrastructure Conference. My name is Professor Veena Sahajwalla, and I'm the Director of the Smart Centre at the University of New South Wales. The work that we all are embarking on and this journey that we are all coming together to celebrate, to reflect, is such an inspiring point in time. And of course, as your MC today, I'm super excited to see all of you in the room and to be able to come and take the time out of your busy schedules to join us for this event. It's certainly an exciting time for all of us to be speaking about how we can unite greener infrastructure ideas in industry and bring together experts from circular economy. And ultimately, in a collaborative manner, we'll be able to deliver these greener projects. I do, of course, want to say a few housekeeping things before we embark on the proceedings for today. Today's event is brought to you by ecologiQ, a Victorian government initiative that is driving reuse, recycling, repurposing of waste materials in our infrastructure construction projects across Victoria, and of course, the big build to deliver successful project and circular outcomes. We, of course, can be getting connected, and of course, as you will be able to access Wi-Fi and you'll be able to follow instructions on the screen. If you want to do that, of course, you can jump on through LinkedIn. You can get involved in the conversation that we're all embarking on. You can have, of course, your messages and your takeaways. You can share that with those who are in the room. And of course, beyond all of the experience that you can share, you can do that using hashtag ecologiqconference 2023. Of course, we also will be having live Q&A. So I would certainly love to hear from you and encourage you, of course, throughout the event. If you have questions for our speakers, if you would like to pose questions to our panelists during our panel discussions, do absolutely put your questions on Slido. the QR code that's up there for you to use. And it's also on your table to submit your questions. And of course, we will be able to share with you all of these answers as we do, not just during the panel discussions, but of course we'll be able to keep that conversation going, and that's how you'll be able to not only inspire each other, but of course hopefully take away those important learnings, those important messages. And I would encourage you, of course, to continue those conversations. There are sessions that are taking place in the trade hall as well. I encourage you to explore those sessions. And also, there are so many suppliers who are there in the trade hall. They would love to chat to you about their products. We also have got graphic recorders who are present in plenary sessions as well as in the trade hall. And of course, they will be listening to what's happening, the conversations that we're having, and of course, developing a fabulous representation of what we've been talking about at the conference. These types of graphic recordings in the trade hall are very interactive. So please, of course, visit them and add in your ideas, add your questions, have those conversations. I want to, of course, remind you that in case of an emergency, please follow the instructions that are provided to you by the venue staff. If you hear beep, beep, stop what you're doing and await further instructions. If you hear a whoop, whoop, emergency evacuation tone, please remain calm and go to the nearest emergency exit. The nearest emergency assembly area is in Monroe Street car park. And for any fire, medical, security emergencies, please notify the center's security immediately. Bathroom and other facilities are located outside the doors to your left, and presenting room, parenting room, prayer room, and of course first aid facilities are all available outside the main doors to your left behind the Goldfields Cafe. Finally, before I bring across Kevin Devlin to say a few words to us this morning, I want to begin by saying a special thanks to our sponsors, to our exhibitors, and of course, as you know, that there are so many. There are too many to mention, but without their support, we really cannot run events like these. You will hear from some of them during our program, and the others, of course, who are exhibiting in the Trade Hall Theatre. And of course, the others who are basically showcasing their exciting products, their services, their solutions. So go in, take time to go and interact with those who are present in the Trade Hall, and of course, basically learn from their experiences, their journeys, and see how you might be able to take away some of those important lessons that they've learned through their journey. This, of course, for us, is an important way to share our experiences, but also, as you can imagine, this is not an easy journey, but it's certainly exciting. And if we're going to embark on something that's bold and ambitious, we all need to come together and collaborate. It also means that as you hear inspiring ideas from friends and peers and those out in the trade hall and others who are sharing their experience and their knowledge, it will hopefully plant a few thoughts and ideas in your head that you might actually think, well, in fact, some of those things that I've been hearing about, those products, I'll be able to take those away in my projects. I'll be able to deploy them. Because you can see that, of course, as science, as technology, as new ideas develop and advance, there are many, many opportunities for us to learn from each other, but also, of course, share in the future and how we shape the future of this planet. We're here ultimately, of course, because we're all passionate. We all know that whether we're contributing in infrastructure projects or whether we're experts in circularity, in manufacturing, in materials, we all know one thing for sure, that all of these materials that were being called as waste are not really waste. They are resources. These are valuable materials, fundamentally down at the molecular and elemental level. All of these materials that are already available to us in our ecosystem, we should be keeping them out of landfill and, of course, evaluating how the whole new future that we are about to embark on and shape the future of our planet, we can make a real difference. And to be able to make a real difference, we need to collaborate. We need to come together. So start to think about, of course, what you want to get out of this conference, how you might be able to take these ideas and think about some of the practical, tangible things that you could be doing in your own projects, in your businesses, no matter where you're working. So I'd encourage you to start to reflect on collaborative efforts. And I'm really curious about what is it that you're thinking you're going to, of course, learn from this conference. Are you hoping, of course, to be able to build new collaborations, build new relationships, take on some of those exciting ideas? And if you've got some of those ideas, I am curious about what they might be. So use the QR code on your tables, log into Slido, and of course, please start submitting your words and phrases that really best describe what you're hoping to get out of the next couple of days. We want to start to, of course, capture those ideas in the form of course, word clouds and other phrases and thoughts that you might have. So, of course, we'll come back, we'll reflect on these as we go through our journey over the next couple of days, sitting together and, of course, collaborating. Means you might have already seen something in the trade hall, whether it was last night at the fantastic opening, or this morning and over the next couple of days. Start to reflect on whether it is about new ideas, whether it's about those collaborations and partnerships, or things that you learned that you felt, wow, I didn't know that was even possible to do. So when we start to think about all of those important materials that are already there in our ecosystem, what are these new ideas that you want to walk away with? You might actually think that, I thought these plastics were never going to be recycled. But of course, suddenly what you're finding out is it is possible, as long as you can find what those market opportunities are. And of course, if you can find what those market opportunities are, those new connections that you're going to build, those new connections are going to allow you to embark on that journey. I can start to see already that there are lots of incredible words coming into our word cloud, and it's really exciting to see that all of you are starting to pick up on that key theme of collaboration. And of course, so many other things that you're probably thinking about in terms of new contacts, applications, solutions, because that's important. Those solutions, they're out there, but when you actually come in and build those connectivities, over these next 2 days, you will probably walk away with a whole bunch of ideas, and that's going to be exciting, because from your point of view, it's about taking away, and of course, we're going to come back and look at these ideas. So really, thank you so much for being so active and, of course, putting up some of these ideas for us to all reflect on. We will come back and check again on where we're traveling with this tomorrow afternoon to see, of course, how we're all been going. It now gives me great pleasure to introduce Kevin Devlin, the Director General at Victoria's Major Transport Infrastructure Authority, to the stage. Please give Kevin a warm welcome.